Rydell, Rock and Rye Booker. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing red trunks, fighting out of and proudly representing his home of Sofia, Bulgaria. He weighed in at 248.4 pounds. His record stands at 27 wins, 1 loss, with 14 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former world title challenger, currently the IBF #1 ranked heavyweight contender, introducing Kubrat, the Cobra Pulev. And referee in charge now to give instructions, Edward Collantes.
Gentlemen, you both received instructions dressing room. I want to remind you to obey my commands at all times and to protect yourself at all times. Touch close. 1.
We're ready to go here at Chuck Chansey Park in
Doc,
Fresno, California. It's been a while since we saw Kubrat Pulev. Since we last saw him, that kiss in the locker room cost him his momentum. He had to go into a special class, and he said he learned his lesson. But more importantly, he needs to get back into the ring and be that same Kubrat Pulev who impressed against Bogdan Dinu at the hangar in Costa Mesa. Nice jab there from Rydell Booker, showing that, like Dre said, he's got the skills, he's got the quickness and athleticism.
Yeah, Booker's definitely got the skill. He comes from Detroit. That's a fighting city. He came around that Kronk area. He dibbled and dabbled in that gym as well. But the thing is, can he sustain it, and can he do this for the duration of the 10 rounds?
That was a question that was asked of him in his loss in Atlantic City on April 13th against undefeated Jermaine Franklin. He said, "I wasn't motivated for the fight." He really doesn't have the luxury of not being motivated for any fight. He needs to prove that tonight.
He's doing a good job with a little bit of movement. Booker is using his jab at range.
On first bell. Both guys are 38 years old, fighting for different reasons. Pulev just needs to win, have his hand raised tonight to ensure that world title opportunity. Long awaited for him, over 3 years as the next man in line in the IBF. He awaits the winner of Andy Ruiz, Anthony Joshua, will face off in Saudi Arabia in early December.
Hey, Bernardo, I don't mean no harm at all when I say what I'm going to say right now. But look at the body of Booker. You know, you would think that, someone getting a second chance, coming out, want to be a top heavyweight, and, look at his body, how flabby it is. That don't look like it's serious. I don't think that he's, taking it serious. Too serious to me, Dre.
Yeah, that's not a good look, Tim. Not a good look at all.
Not everybody could look like Tim Bradley and have abs on top of abs.
On top of abs.
But Bernardo, you ain't got to have abs on top of abs, but,
I get
some
you.
weight, lose a little weight, man. Look good. Feel good.
Look good.
Nice combination to the body there from Booker. Good start for Rydell Booker.
Good jab.
10 seconds.
Jamel Herring was in the Marines for 9 years, and for him, the choice of service was not difficult. This is why he chose the Marines. On their uniform, as well as the United States flag, not only in military forum, in theater, but also at the Olympics. This man bleeds red, white, and blue, and he hopes to defend his title tonight. Round 2 of a scheduled 10-rounder between Kubrat Pulev and Rydell Booker. In the heavyweight division, I'm Bernardo Osuna alongside Timothy Bradley and Andre Ward.
Yeah, that last round was a quintessential round for Booker. He's cruising, he's out at distance. And Pulev is allowing him to think. He's using the jab up and down and throwing combinations. At the end of that last round, he landed a good hook, nice left hook.
Not enough work yet.
Yeah, not enough work from Pulev. Pulev is kind of stalking him right now, trying to line him up with a big punch, the right hand.
Okay, stop, step back, step back.
We always look at the CompuBox numbers for fighters, and neither one of these heavyweights is going to set the world ablaze in terms of the punches thrown. Pulev throws 38.5, Rydell Booker 35. That's well below the 44.7 per round for the heavyweight average. Nonetheless, we know that these type of fights can change on just one punch.
Yeah, Pulev is a guy who, throughout the course of his career, he warms up slowly and he starts to put more and more pressure and starts to let his hands go as the fight progresses.
Nice short left hook there from Kubrat Pulev. Starting to let his hands go a little bit better. Head movement there from Rydell Booker.
Yeah, Booker said that he can't lie on the ropes in the fighter meeting, and that's exactly what he's doing right now. Laying on the ropes.
Pulev would be typical stand-up European style, and Booker said, I'm going to take advantage of that, while Ibn Kaysen, who is now working the corner of Kubrat Pulev, said, guys, watch out, because he is a typical European fighter, but you're going to see new wrinkles, looking at finding angles to get the offense going.
Well, Pulev is a thinking fighter. He's a thinking fighter, so he likes to set up everything off the jab. But Eben is trying to get him to be a little bit more offensive-minded.
There you see the double jab from Pulev, but nothing to follow up. He's waiting for that left hand to drop down to be able to drop that right hand above it. Sometimes you got to create those openings when they're not there.
You got to use your jab. Once you find the jab, once you find the mark, then you come behind with different combinations. And you want to change levels. You want to go up and down. You want to confuse your opponent. If you do the same thing over and over, he's going to figure it out.
And 9 percentage points higher than Lamont Roach in that particular statistic.
The right eye of Booker is starting to get reddened and it's starting to swell just a little bit. We should keep an eye on that as the fight progresses.
That jab that Pulev keeps pumping, not a lot, but it's effective as we see Booker counter-punching quite well.
Punch out of there, punch out of there, let's go.
Booker got some quick hands.
Yes.
Okay, stop, step back.
He's quick on the
Step
trigger.
back.
But he has to sustain this for 10 rounds. Let's see if he can.
Well, that's the amazing thing about a guy like Booker, who has, training in his formative years, high-level amateur. He's been off for 13 and a half years, but you can still see the skill. You can still see the IQ. He may not be able to sustain that and keep up a high pace, but you can still see certain things from his younger days.
3-1 and
Nice body shot.
10-round fights is Rydell Booker, and since he's returned, he had 4 6-rounders and that 1 10-rounder that he lost to Franklin. Nice jab there from Kubrat Pulev. But very predictable so far from both guys.
Don't push, don't push. Thank you. Let's go, stop,
Well,
step back,
it's no
step back.
secret
Let's
what
go.
Pulev is looking for. He's looking to line him up with the right hand. That's what Pulev does. He blinds you with the jab, comes behind with the right hand, a straight right hand.
Pulev 9-1 with 5 knockouts in his last 10 fights. That loss to Vladimir Klitschko in November of 2014.
Watch that forearm, please. No forearm.
There's that 1-2 from Pulev.
See Booker now kind of digging at that eye, so you mentioned it. What's that like, Dre, when you have to start poking at your eye to get that visibility going?
Yeah, I never worried about cuts or headbutts or anything like that. The blood didn't concern me, but swelling did, because I knew if I had swelling around the eye, that was going to take away a weapon, and I was going to go from obviously having 2 eyes to 1, so that was always my biggest concern. I think that's...
See that inflammation on the eye as he continues to work, popping that jab. His best weapon so far in this fight.
10 seconds.
Keeps pawing at it, does Rydell Booker.
Don't push away, don't push away.
As round 3 of a scheduled
Push away,
10
let's go. Stop, step back,
Pulev and
step
Booker
back, step
comes
back.
to an end.
Time.
Switch to And it only takes 15 minutes to see if you can save 15% or more on car insurance. Check today and see how much you can save.
Pull it out. Pull it out. When you get that close, hit him in the body. You all close to him, boom, boom. Take some of that shit out of him. He don't have nothing in the next round. Whenever you're inside, just walk. Yeah, and just walk. All you gotta do is kind of walk and flick this heel all day. Don't force nothing, okay? Come on.
Ibn Kaysen working for the first time as the lead trainer with Kubrat. Pulev as his normal trainer. 76-year-old Uli Wegner was not available to spend the last 3 weeks with him in camp. So new ideas, youth, and a new outlook as we take a look at the total jabs landed. Obviously, you see the difference in the number thrown as well as the 15 landed for Kubrat Pulev, who's landing at a 21% clip.
Ooh, nice shot right there from Booker. Throwing the lead left hook and following it with the straight right hand.
Sneak 1-2. But he can't follow up. That's the issue that I have right now with the shape that Booker's in. I never understood that. If a guy is going to be...
Christina Poncher, who is our ringside reporter tonight, has a report from the corner.
Go, stop, step back.
I was
step
in the
back.
corner of Kubrat Pulev talking to Ibn Kaysen, and he said that he's happy with the work that he's been doing with the jab, but he'd like to see some more feints. And just like Dre said a round or two ago, he needs to step up the work to the body.
Yes, he does. That would work for both fighters, actually, in this fight.
Yeah, the issue that I have with the shape that Booker's in is you don't give yourself the best opportunity.
You know, he had 5 fights.
Don't push him away.
He had 4 fights that were 6-rounders, and he had 1 fight that was a 10-rounder, and that was the one he lost.
Yeah,
You know, so you know right away he has conditioning. He has a conditioning problem.
But Pulev's got to press him. You guys mentioned that since early on. If he doesn't make him work, then he can carry that weight a little bit further into the fight.
Well, Booker's crafty. You know, he has a lot of experience, a lot of amateur experience. I know he's been pretty active on his return back, but he's pretty slick in there. Knows how to slip shots, get inside, tie up.
Listen, if Pulev knew how to hit to the body or cared to hit to the body, this fight may be over right now.
There he goes with a right hook to the body.
Push
Still
him
not
out.
enough.
Push him away.
As he
Don't
used the
push him
forearm
like that.
once
10
again.
seconds.
Round 4 is in the books here in Fresno, California. It's a World Championship night in tonight's main event.
Time.
We'll listen in to Ibn Kaysen in Pulev's corner.
Deep breath, deep breath. Kubrat, give me that straight right hand to the body when on the rope. Stop coming around. Okay? You're too much fat there. I want you to come right down to the body. Right down the pipe. Do that a couple times, then come back upstairs, okay? He's ready to quit, but you gotta make him quit. He's gonna survive. He's a veteran. But we can make him quit with that straight right hand to the body. Jab, 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 straight right hand to the body, okay? Start coming around to the head later. Later. But straight, not around.
Ibn Kaysen, the brother of Hassan, continues to swell on Rydell Booker.
Stay over there, please. Stay over there, please.
I don't know if that right eye was caused by a punch. It might have been a thumb.
Okay.
You know, it swelled up rapidly, quickly.
Okay.
Yeah, the way it is swelling, it's different.
Time. Stop.
And they're going to
You
take
go
a look
there.
at it.
You go over there.
And we take a look at the CompuBox
This
numbers.
is the 5th round, right? Judges,
Pulev,
5th round,
189
5th round.
thrown, landing at a
5th round.
21%
Okay,
clip.
let's go. Ready? Time.
69 less punches thrown by Booker. 12 of those have been body shots landed for the fighter from the United States compared to the Bulgarian.
Bernardo, my eyes have been swollen in fights. And I've never really rubbed my eye the way Booker's rubbing his eye. So, the only time that I've rubbed my eye that I remember was when I got thumbed in the eye. And I think that's what happened with Booker. I think he got thumbed in the eye.
Let's go. Stop. Step back.
Yeah, I agree with the way
Go,
he's
step
rubbing
back.
at it. It's so irritating.
Yes.
And you could just tell that, maybe it's a scratch on the outside of the eye, but we'll see how he keeps reacting to it. He's got to fight through it is all he's got left here as we're in round 5 of scheduled 10 rounder. He's talking to Pulev.
Well, to
Maybe
me right
it's
now,
a
just looking at
scratch
body
on the-
language, 85% of communication is nonverbal, baby.
We'll see how he
He's on his way out already. He's already checked out. Booker.
Pulev's communicating with 3 straight right hands.
10-rounder, he's talking to Pulev.
Well, to me right now,
Code on
just
the
looking
head
at
of
body
Booker.
language, 85% of communication is nonverbal, baby. Shot. He's on his way out
He's got
already.
to
He's
fight through it.
already
He
checked
left
out.
here.
He can't sustain his attack. He's not in that kind of shape.
He's talking
And
to Pulev.
Pulev needs to have more as coach
Maybe
with
right
the
now,
body
just looking at
of
body
Booker
language,
because
85%
Booker's the
of
veteran, man. He's going to protect his head. He knows how to protect his head. He may sneak a shot in there, but it's a lot harder. Pulev, if he wants this fight to get out of here, if he wants Booker to get out of here inside the distance, he's got to start coming to the body.
Look at Pulev's rhythm. 1-1-2, 1-1-2, all head, all straight, no body. This will work for Rydell Booker. This is not going to work for Andy Ruiz or Anthony Joshua.
Truer words were never spoken, and that's why I don't understand why he hasn't gotten his world title opportunity. Sometimes they look for this type of fighter. He's not hard to figure out.
No, but Pulev been off for 8 months. This is kind of, to me, is like a tune-up fight for him. Coming back before he gets this opportunity to fight for the championship. See, nice little movement right there from Booker. Just making all those punches miss from Pulev.
Punch out, guys. Let's go.
Still crafty, but it's up to Pulev to push him out that door. He's ready to go.
The good separate themselves from the great by putting guys away they're supposed to put away.
That's right.
Ooh, good jab there from Rydell Booker. Making Pulev think before he comes in. We're halfway through this scheduled 10-rounder. We'll see how much more conditioning Rydell Booker has left as Christina Concher is with the champion, Jamel Herring. Back here with round number 6 of our co-feature this evening. Kubrat Pulev taking on Rydell Booker. I'm Bernardo Osuna alongside Timothy Bradley, Andre Ward, and Mark Kriegel. And this is when Kubrat Pulev should be starting to put the pressure on Rydell Booker.
Pulev is just not showing any variation in his offense. He's showing the same rhythm, the same feints, the same jab, the same tempo, same cadence. He's not mixing these kind of things up. And the other fighters in the heavyweight division, they're also watching this fight, and they're seeing the same thing that we're seeing.
Ooh, nice.
Right in your tracks just for a split second.
There's a 1-2 from Rydell Booker, who seems to have found his target.
It's a good round for Booker right now. He's having success with the right hand. Now he's starting to get a little active.
Yeah, but it's just few and far in between. Like, wouldn't you want to come in here and display the same things that we're seeing from Booker in spots more consistently and potentially have an upset and change your family's life and put yourself in the heavyweight contention or at least in the conversation? Why would you not come in here in tip-top shape?
Hey, Dre, he's fighting like a sparring partner. Booker is. That's what he's doing. He's fighting just like a sparring partner. All those rounds with Wilder and Joshua and Usyk don't mean anything right now.
Yeah, there's no headgear now. The gloves are 10-ounce gloves. There's not the 16 or 18-ounce gloves. This is for real. The lights are on you. You're fighting in a stadium. The fans are here, and you've got to deliver.
Listen, man, I'm not getting in a boxing ring for somebody to beat up on me and for people all over the world to see it, man. I'm going to bring my best. If you beat me, you're going to beat the best me. You're not going to beat a fighter that's out of shape or in half shape. I'm just not doing it.
That was a first left hook to the liver from Kubrat Pulev that he's thrown the entire fight, and we're 6 rounds in.
Seconds.
60% of the way in this fight, a scheduled 10-rounder, and we'll listen in to Jimmy Paul as Rydell Booker goes back to his corner.
Yeah, look good that round. Take the rest of these rounds. Yeah, look good this round. Use that jab some more. Take the rest of them. I ain't got no water bottle, man. Hey there, I'm good. Come on, be good. Yeah, we round here, we good. Come on. Good, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath.
Best punches, the left hand, the lead hand, the closest hand to your opponent. Sometimes it's sharp, sometimes it's a power. Swollen and reddened. He needs to keep that up, but follow that up with body shots.
That's right. You see the body language, as you mentioned, Tim, and Pulev comes out ready to fire, and Booker
covers up,
crawls back out of that corner.
Crawls back out the corner. You know, the door is wide open for Pulev, but Pulev needs to go down to the body and continue to weaken Booker and push him out that door.
He just needs to vary his punches, and you know, the 1-2 is there for him, but that's not what's going to get Booker out of this fight.
No.
Pulev wasn't taught to go to the body, and he doesn't train to go to the body, so that's why he's not going to the body right now.
And this is a body you gotta punish.
I mean, it's sitting right there for you. Even if I wasn't a body puncher, I'm gonna go to the body tonight.
You see the right hand from Pulev as Booker just tries to go back into the corner, maybe catch a rest. There he goes. Pulev finally goes to the body.
Every time he goes to the body, Bernardo, he gets a reaction from Booker. Why not keep going down there?
Off his head, off his head, off his head.
There you go. Big right hand from Pulev. Come on, ref, he says.
Veteran move right there from Booker. He's talking to the ref, but he's not looking at the ref. He's keeping his eyes on his opponent at all times.
Pulev just got to keep working his hands and force the ref to step in to stop this fight.
Christina, what's going on in Booker's corner right now?
Jimmy, Paul, and the crew are getting frustrated with Booker, telling him you're standing right in front of him. You're not moving. You need to get back to boxing. Shoot your jab up and down, and please stay off the ropes.
They thinking about stopping this fight, Christina, or they're going to let it go? Oh, big right hand there from Pulev.
They should really think about stopping this fight. There's no kind of power on Booker's punches now. He's on punching. He's taking a whole lot of leather. Every now and then you'll see him pop shot from the outside, but nothing serious.
I mean, it's not like Pulev is really hurting him, but once you can't just keep taking shots like this either. He's not very prolific. We're coming off of the Miguel Berchelt fight that he threw more punches in one round than we're probably going to see in the entire fight from both of these guys.
Off his foot, off his foot.
But
another veteran move right there from Booker, stepping on the foot of Pulev, just to slow him down, just enough to clear his head.
Nice jab from Booker to the body. Just too few and far between from the fighter out of Detroit.
Well, listen, Booker's on his way out. Pulev has to help him.
Yep.
He has to show him the door and help him go outside because Booker's looking out the window.
10 seconds.
The fight.
Punch output's going to be very important in that fight. And Christina Poncher just told me that the corner of Rydell Booker, Jimmy Paul, is going to really keep a close eye on him. And if he doesn't do much here, he will stop this fight. Great reporting from Christina Poncher as Pulev continues to walk down Booker and lands that right hand. But there's nothing about Pulev tonight that screams world champion.
No, not at all. Not at all. You know, this fight is like I said, tune-up. But if he fights like this in a world championship fight, he's not going to win the world championship. I promise you that.
Come on, man.
The 1-2, there's nothing special about Pulev. It's just jab, jab, 1-2. You know, he needs to change up the combinations. He needs to get busy with his hands. He needs to learn how to throw body shots because you need to slow down these big guys.
This is 1-2, very predictable from Kubrat Pulev. I guess the big mission for the rest of the night, the remaining 7 minutes and 55 seconds, is to not be cut. The cut's held up pretty well this evening.
Well, he had 8 months to let that cut, heal up.
They want Booker off those ropes, but that may be what's keeping him up tonight. There's that right hand from Kubrat Pulev over the top.
It's another veteran move from Rydell Booker. If you don't have the legs, if you're tired, you lay on the ropes. You let the ropes help you up. They balance you, all those different things. These are all veteran tactics of survival from Rydell Booker, and Kubrat Pulev is not noticing it, and he's not taking advantage of it. Very disappointing right now. Not with the overall performance, but just the fact that he's not recognizing these key moments and he's not stepping it up.
You know, Dre, you said a distant fight means it was a failure for Pulev. He needs to dispose of this guy, and so far, I don't see that desire from Pulev to put this into the next gear.
I mean, if you're talking about getting in there with the likes of Andy Ruiz, Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, yeah, you got to look a lot different than you are tonight.
Oh, nice jab there from Rydell Booker. Imagine being on the end of a Deontay Wilder right hand. It's not going to end well.
Not going in.
Or having a fighter with the talent of Tyson Fury boxing circles around you.
I mean, Pulev is trying, but like Dre said, he's not trying hard enough, and he's not going down to the body.
I gave up on that body work about 2-3 rounds ago.
But he needs to go down to the body.
I gave up on it, Tim.
Can you scream it out to him and tell him to go down to the body?
No coaching, fellas. It's like when you're watching your daughters play soccer on the sideline. No coaching.
But hats off to Booker because he's finding a way to survive round after round after round.
He is.
Parade. Round 9 coming up here in our co-feature with Kubrat Pulev, just needing to have his hand raised to assure that he will be fighting for a world title. But at this stage of his career, he's 38 years old. He's been off 8 months. He's got to show more to prove that he can win that world title, because nobody's clamoring for him to get that world title shot.
Well, I thought that was the goal. I didn't think the goal, Bernardo, was just a world title shot. I thought it was to kind of take the U.S. by storm, keep the people talking, and have some buzz as you go into your title fight. With this performance tonight, I don't think he's going to have that.
Well, I'm giving him a pass tonight. He's been off for 8 months.
No passes. Come on,
I'm giving him a pass.
You never get passes.
Listen, man, he's been off for 8 months. You know, 8 months is a long time. We know why he was off. He needs to get the rust off.
All right, Mark Creed, you giving him a pass?
I don't give him a pass, but I would like to know what Rydell Booker is doing here. I know he's too heavy. We know his faults. But what you're seeing, especially with that little right uppercut he shoots sometimes and some of the slick moves, is what might have been. And I wonder, talking about Dre, remembers this kid back in the day. What are you thinking? What's the difference between him now and then?
What's the same thing I said in the beginning of the night? It's the same thing I've said throughout the course of the fight. Very talented, unusually skillful, and athletic for a big man, but just wasn't always disciplined and focused. I think you see that here tonight.
It's hard for a leopard to change its spots, and such is the case for Rydell Booker tonight against Pulev. And the same can be said for the Bulgarian contender, because he's the same guy that we've been seeing since that loss to Vladimir Klitschko.
Work, stay there and work. Let's go.
Pulev is using a dirty trick. He's actually using the elbow,
Step back.
the left elbow, every time he gets close to Booker to push off.
There's that nice right hand from Pulev all night long. But still, there's not enough power behind it to get rid of a guy like Rydell Booker.
Well, I'll also say this about Booker. He's tough as nails. There's no quitting him. And when he fought James Toney, even though James Toney wasn't the biggest heavyweight puncher, it was over a decade. He still took a lot of punishment in that fight. There was no quit in him. He went the distance, and I think he's going to do the same thing tonight.
That body shot right there was a straight right hand to the solar plex. That hurt.
There it goes again. So finally giving us a
action. You hit Booker to the body, and then back to the head, you get a different reaction. Pulev has to recognize this.
There you go. Triple right hand from Pulev, but Booker's right there. That 1-2, just trying to bring down the hands of Booker. Round 9 ending like so many of the other rounds with the right hand from Kubrat Pulev, but not much intensity. As we listen to Booker's corner, see what they're thinking leading into the 10th round.
How you doing, Chad? I'm good. Are we good? Last round. Last round. Try it, man. Go for the home run, man. We got to go for the home run with this bitch, man. Yeah. Try to walk. Walking in confidence. Shoot your shot, man. Sit on the ground, touch gloves. Yeah. Yeah, try this guy this last round, man. At least try it. Bop, bop.
Pulev still
this last
standing.
round. I want energy, but I want you to be smart. Okay? And he will go. But start with the body.
Paul with the jab, come over the right, come over the left hand with the right hand. Sometimes he'll throw the right hand straight. Different variations with the right hand, but really nothing else. He's landing some shots. Booker's taking the shots and occasionally landing his own counter shots. Good shot right there from Pulev, but not a lot of a reaction from Booker. Veteran. He's using every tactic in the book to stay in this fight and not be knocked out. And I'm not a big fan of moral victories, as you all know, but it is a moral victory for Rydell Booker to go the distance with a guy like Pulev tonight.
Been away from the ring for 14 years, was in prison for 12, and he's here trying to regain relevancy, but not the type of performance that would make anyone say, hey, let's get Rydell Booker back on that card.
Well, actually, this kind of performance will get him a lot of phone calls because he's durable, he's a test, but he's not too stern of a test. That's how boxing works. He's a good opponent.
Dropping the boxing business knowledge. There you can see the uppercut.
All right, stop.
The corner did demand work to the body, so Ibn Kaysen sees what you're seeing, Dre, and what we're seeing ringside. It's just Pulev doesn't have that as part of his arsenal.
The corner's doing a great job. They're telling Pulev all the right stuff. They told him that 3-4 rounds ago. Pulev has just been unable to execute.
Rydell Booker, there he goes, trying to find that resting spot on the ropes to counter Pulev.
Yeah, this is when you want to use the ropes as an ally. If you being Pulev, you want to pour on the combinations. You want to load up with your punches. That's what you do. When you have guys on the ropes, that's a chance to load up with big shots because they're right there to be hit and nowhere to go.
Nice left hook there.
Nice jab.
Pulev. Here comes Booker with a counter right. But very slow, very deliberate in their punch delivery, to say the least, here through 10 rounds. 1 minute left in this fight. For Pulev, it seems, stay upright and you will be fighting for a world title before May 31st of 2020.
All right, stop.
Well, I think the silver lining in this fight for Booker is that the eye didn't shut. It stopped swelling, so I think that's the silver lining. That's a positive we could take away from it.
That may be the cut man of Wallace Cross. He'll be able to put that on his resume.
I thought that eye was going to be shut by now.
That is true. They use that end swell quite well. In Booker's corner, who continues to jab with Pulev. Nothing impressive to take away from Pulev's performance either. But nonetheless, we knew what his mission was tonight. Come in here, get the victory, and go for a world title in 2020. There's a lot of work to be done if he's going to be a champion as opposed to just a challenger.
Well,
10 seconds.
this is what we call carrying a fighter. That's exactly what Pulev is doing right now. He's carrying a hurt fighter.
They have the final bell here at Chuck Chansey Park as the heavyweights are done with their 10 rounds of action here at Chuck Chansey Park.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of action, the judges are in agreement. Here are the score totals. Judge Steve Morrow sees it 99-91. Judges Fernando Villarreal and Carla Cais both score the bout 98-92. All three in favor of the winner, Kubrat, the Cobra.